The resume was good, but it missed that one. So Kivu Spice was born from mostly it started as a dream that turned into a plan, and a plan that turned into a product, 100% Congolese product.
Welcome back, everyone, to HUMHR Career Insights. Today, I'm joined by Wani Joana Kahasha, an industrial engineer, social impact entrepreneur, and development practitioner driving digital transformation and women's economic empowerment in the DRC. Wani currently leads the DCLIC Digital Skills Program at Kivu Impact Center, expanding AI literacy, coding, and geospatial skills to young people and women across several provinces. She has supported over 6,700 women entrepreneurs through the World Bank's Transform project and previously built Kivu Spices, an agri-tech venture digitizing local value chains. Wani, welcome to HUMHR Career Insights. I have really been looking forward to this conversation.
Well, thank you for having me. I feel like you forgot quite a big part of my life, which is I come from a family of seven, and I'm the third. We are five girls and two boys, so that's kind of a big part of my life and my identity. So I don't know. The resume was good, but it missed that one. So
Yes. That is a big part. Family is a big part of one's life. And I'm sure it's a big part of you and a big part of the story you're about to tell us. So, can we dive right in and can you tell me about Épices du Kivu? Did I say that right?
yes, it's Épices de Kivu, or the other way around is Kivu Spice. So you did that right.
Can you tell us what inspired you to start Kivu Spice? And yeah, from the very beginning.
Well, Kivu Spice was born from uh, I would say a need, but mostly it started as a dream, a dream that turned into a plan, and a plan that turned into a product. When the whole idea started, I didn't have anything as cash capital. When we started Épices de Kivu, we literally didn't have land, we didn't have cash, and we didn't have. We didn't know where to start because I was relocating. A campaign that I did, I went to friends, I went to a couple of local organizations that looks at incubation and accelerating and assisting startup, and that's how I set up Épices de Kivu with four other person.
Wow, that's such a commendable story. It's very inspiring. You started with almost no capital and you had no land. And how you campaigned to get that land was very interesting to me. And then you turned it into a thriving spice business. So you are growing, processing, and packaging everything yourself. That's what it was, right?
Yes, the way we looked at it was that we were going to start from the farm to the table. We wanted to be at the whole value chain, from the production in the farm, do the logistic parts, and then the processing part, and finally the distribution. And in doing so, we felt like at least we'll really be talking about 100% Congolese product, not just having us positioned maybe at the distribution or the transformation, but will be not only leveraging on impacting life from the villages all the way up to the consumer, the final consumer. We were working with more close to 200 farmers. The majority of them, around 164, were women, having on average 4 to 5 children. And we were working on a timetable, looking at rotation, where we were actually partnering with 60 women every week, and to do mainly the work related to the nursery, moving the plant from the nursery to the final destination on the field. And what we actually uh, managed to do is provide a means of provide income for those women. We've been doing it for like, because the project started in 2020, but around early 2021, that's when we had like it, the team being more stable, the timetable being more reliable, sorry. And we also had at the beginning issues with the husband of the women that were working not being cooperative when it comes to the time that we had in terms of the scheduling that we had planned. So we had a lot of talking in terms of convincing the husbands, going to their pastors, going to their religious leaders to explain to them that these women, they are really doing farm work, they're not doing anything else outside that. But what also we managed to do was to provide a means of income.
It sounds like it has had a huge impact on the community. There is something that I actually did forget to say in my long bio of you, Wani, and that is you speak English, you speak French, you speak Swahili, and is there another language that you speak?
Well, I speak a bit of Mashi, which is our mother tongue. It's quite difficult. It have word that are similar when if you were to speak Kinyarwanda, or if you were to speak Kirundi, you will find a similarity when it comes to the language. So but I don't speak it well. That's the thing.
That's a lot of languages. Have you found that an advantage to the work that you do, or yeah, basically have you found that an advantage?
Well, it depends on where you at. For example, when it's come to Épices di Kivu, particularly, not being able to speak my mother tongue when I'm at the farm was a huge disadvantage. Especially when we had problems with husbands of the women that were helping us in the farm, they only speak Mashi, and they will not accept to talk to me because I'm speaking Swahili or French, and they will be like, if she's speaking Swahili or French, she's taking us from, she's not respecting us. So they will be like, we're not talking to you. So, uh, having not being able to talk much here didn't help a lot, but being able to talk in English have helped a lot when it comes to international competition, because when you trying to take the product and showcase it outside, most of the competition, most of the opportunities, we had to do pitch in English. And if you are not able to do that, even when you're applying, they'll tell you, are you able to speak English? Can you pitch in English? Even if you have a good product, you have an amazing pitch set up for yourself, but if the judge can't be able to like evaluate you when you're talking at the same level as other candidates, you automatically disqualified. On the French aspect of it, it did help me look very professional when I'm approaching a supermarket.
There's two things, Wani, that I want us to zone in on. And one, you mentioned it as a challenge when you were starting Kivu Spices. And yeah, it was one of your big challenges, and that was women and women resilience and entrepreneurship, right? How their husbands basically had control over, will they come to the farm? Now, you have taken that on, right? You have supported more than 6,700 women entrepreneurs. And I think there was the World Bank Transform project that you had. So, what would you say? What separates women who scale from those who struggle to survive?
The ecosystem, the ecosystem, just when you look at the beginning, when I was starting with Kivu Spice, it was becoming such a huge problems that women will come, and then the husband will come, and they will be like, no, go back, or you go I mean, he will be drinking, and around 11 you'll come back and start shouting at her at the on the field, and that will make her feel uncomfortable, and the baby that she's carrying will start crying. She needs to stop work, and all of us, and because maybe her friends want to help her, the friend will also stop work and everything. And at some point, I sat down, and I went to talk to some of my uncle that have worked in humanitarian work, and they told me, it may be strange, but you need to go and look for a religious leader. You need to go and look for religious leaders and talk to them, because those one, they will be able to get into get the message across in the head of the husband. And I was like, what should I tell them? I said, just manage to help to make the leader understand that this work that these women are doing not only benefit them first, it benefits them first, and then after it benefit the women and the children, but they need to feel like she's doing this for me. I know it sounds uh, it may look bad and it sounds even terrible, but we did that. We went to the church on Sunday very early and we kind of request an audience with the before the service start. We request an audience with the pastor, and we told them, look, we need the women to be freely to be able to come freely at work without being harassed, without being taken away in the middle of the day, and they need to be left alone and to manage their time, not always being chased away or called upon by the husband in the middle of or being shouted. Nobody wants to be shouted at work, especially by your husband, maybe in front of all your friends, because the other lady were their friends. So we can see how embarrassing and how uh, you know uh, the discomfort that they were in, but because it's the husband and they know if they dare to kind of open their mouth, it will just go downhill from there, and maybe the evening and tomorrow they won't be able to come, so they'll just take it in and take it in. So we talk to the religious leader, and we know that the power of the husband, and we understand it, and we acknowledge and we respect it, but can you help us in your own way as a religious leader? Make the husband understand that this profits him first, then the family, and at large the whole community, because we planning on being here for a very long time. It was looking bad when we arrived, so we just went into the service just to make sure that, hey, he's going to help us manage this husband of our women. So, and I'm telling you, I wish we recorded it, but the guy actually preached for like 3 hours. He was just pounding on the message and pounding, and I didn't go to the other services during the day, but my farm manager told me that he didn't do it only for that Sunday. He did it like for a whole month. He felt like, yes, these people are here to stay, and it did help. We had for a 6 month straight, we had very calm schedule. We had women arriving on time, leaving at 2. They were very motivated. There was really this ambience of happiness in the field, and it felt good to be able to just look at them and how happy they were, even if it was just seasonal work.
Wani, we were talking about Africa as the rising continent. So there's a growing narrative that is the rising continent, especially in tech, entrepreneurship, and youth innovation. You already alluded to some of this earlier on, but I just want you to tell us from where you sit. Does that narrative resonate with the reality that you are seeing on the ground as an entrepreneur?
Yes, but not to the extent that the hype is leading it to look like. In a sense of, yes, we have the human capital. Yes, we have in terms of minerals, in terms of geo localization. We are living unprecedented time. Like, this is an extraordinary time for Africa in terms of geography, in terms of opportunities, in terms of, like I said, human capital and everything. Uh, but the infrastructure is not there, and because it's not there, uh, and we have to build it, there is no way around it. The opportunity that presents itself then, it's on the human capital. For me, we must look at really, really empowering our youth, not just say the youth is the future. Africa will have the youngest population, but what is the level of education of that population, and how is that population going to actually being able to position themselves on the world stage to compete with other economy when you look at us as a continent or even as individual countries. How are we then making sure that we are able to compete in a global stage?
One thing that I'm taking from there, I want you to tell me just one thing that if you could ask African governments, donors and the private sector if they could fix one thing to unlock African entrepreneurship for the next generation across Africa, not just one individual country, what would that be?
um I've mentioned it before, but I'm really heavy on roads, because for me that's one single thing that would impact energy access, that will impact opportunities, that will improve trades, that will improve language, that will kind of take away the language barriers. It's roads and being able to move from one place to another, communicate with other culture, kind of interact with what other people are doing. So it's something that's really I'm big on. If we can improve the road, we'll open up borders, and people will do the rest of it themselves. They will create opportunity. They will collaborate. They will make money. They will share the money. They will share the wealth, and everyone will actually be impacted. And there will be no need for. It's good when you have projects that come to the DRC and look at uh, empowering women with funds, and but if the opportunities are there, and the roads are open, if the opportunities are there and the roads are open, people, they will know where to go and sell their product. They will know how to save the money. They will, if for example, we look at Kenya and what they've been able to do. It's only when you get to Kenya that you understand that you can live without cash in Africa, which is a foreign. When you look at how we when you come to Africa, they will tell you you must carry cash. You must carry cash because the ATM will show you flames over there. But when you arrive, when you get to Kenya, you don't feel like ATM will show you flames, because hell, you don't even need cash as a way of transaction.
Yeah, I can definitely the cash thing is something that I totally understand because every time I go back home, when I go back home to Zimbabwe, I'm told make sure you have cash and you must always have those US dollar cash, you know. So I agree with that. And what I found powerful in your story there was how roads, just actually having infrastructure, actually having a literal physical road can lead to roads opening up in our minds, right? Just that ability to move from one place to another and be exposed is can create an impactful mindset. It can create that mindset shift that is so needed, and that takes us right back. I want to close the loop, Wani. I want to close the loop on Kivu Spice. And I know that this has a lot of emotions for you. So please just share what you are comfortable with. Part two, part two of Kivu Spice. I understand that when the conflict restarted, things kind of took a turn for the worse. So just share what you're comfortable with and tell us what happened with Kivu Spice and where it is now.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. that that subject that is difficult, but I'll try. Um, Kivu Spice started 2020. Around 2022, we had the product we're now selling. We managed to approach supermarkets locally in Bukavu, Goma, South part, and then we went to the capital, and we started having orders coming in. And our distribution, when it comes to other provinces, especially the capital, heavily relied on flights. As surprising as that would be, but we're mainly using cargo from CAA, which was a local carrier, but also Save Air, which is an outsider company that has infrastructure in DRC. They are operating on the line of Goma, Kinshasa. So we were mainly collaborating with them to ship our product from the east and taking them to Kinshasa, because that's where the demands were. It was massive, and it was recurrent. It was stable. We knew that at least every month we will be able to cover our charges, start breaking even, and even projecting in terms of profits. Toward 2023, we started taking off in terms of orders. We're now starting to ship around 1,000 a month, and slowly in 2020, toward the end of 2020. We improved our packaging because we had an opportunity to go to China at the expo, and we made contacts with manufacturing of packaging, especially the type of packaging that we wanted, because we wanted to improve the weight but also the look of the product itself. We were at the beginning we were shipping in jars, glass ones, but then we moved to an aluminium type of packaging that was easier to carry, that was less subject to spoil it, that was less subject to breakage and everything. So we were able to ship more at a lesser cost. So it was really looking good for us. We started shipping around 3,000 to Kinshasa pack of chili every week, and we were supplying locally here and there in restaurants, in hotels and everything.
You were selected for Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, Harvard University.
Yes.
Congratulations for that in 2024. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you went to refine your entrepreneurial skills.
Yes.
Now, just to say, we've been talking a bit about mentorship, about how, the continents that went ahead of Africa, maybe there should be some mentorship with like African entrepreneurs. And that is one thing that I thought kind of resembled something like that. Did you find it helpful?
Yes, definitely. I mean, look at me. I mean, I know I've been exposed to a lot, but finding myself at Harvard University, I was like, my God, my God. And we had professors, we had a bunch of people coming to see us, and like, we are here for you guys. Ask anything. People from business school, theology, all of them, they just, free up time and say, ask what you need. And most of them were like, women, and they will tell us about their career, their challenges as mothers, their challenges as entrepreneurs. And you kind of feel like, you can relate to them. And, it's the same problems everywhere, but maybe a different scale.
Amazing. Congratulations. And yeah, it sounds like it was a really inspiring moment at Harvard. Wani, I have taken a lot of your time today, but your story was like so inspiring, so compelling, just so much that you could share with us. And we spent a lot of time talking about Kivu Spices and not as much on the impact center. I want to give you just one thing that you want us to know about Kivu Impact Center. Just that last minute or so. Anything that you think we should know about Kivu Impact Center.
Yeah, so what I would like you to know and remember about Kivu Impact Center is that we are empowering the youth and women with digital skills, AI literacy, and we're also providing an education funds to young learners starting from 6 years old up until 18 years old.
Thank you once again. And to our listeners and our watchers, until next time, stay inspired.